Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and the Giants. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host Tom. Today we redo a old video of way back in the day when we were just starting. Today we talk about Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. Yeah, I forget it's just V, not versus. I was like, right, I have to stop myself. Yeah. But yeah, before we go on, I have to emphasize this because this is one of the most divisive films and comic book history is that if you like this movie, that is very valid and you have valid reasons. At the same time, if you don't like this movie for valid reasons, that is also valid. So let's not get into bad arguments on the comment sections of like, you're stupid because you don't like this, or you're stupid because you do like this.
Okay, I know, like, yeah, we're not supposed to be like, like, ripping each other's throats out because this is either a bad movie or a good movie to some people.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you were to watch this, and to the people who liked it, and to the people who didn't, watch this one.
Yeah.
I have to recommend it. Like, it's an extra hour, an hour and
30 minutes, something like that.
30, I think so.
Yeah.
Of added footage of, like, because there's like uncut director. Sorry, like this director's cut.
Yeah.
Where there's added a bit more, I would say,
Context.
like context to when they like transition to the next scene or why this happens. I was like, not gonna lie, a little bit daunting, knowing the fact that it is 3 hours now.
Yeah.
But watching it, I was like, oh, that makes sense, and I was like, oh, that flows way better compared to the
regular version.
Yeah, so I was like, this is good.
Yeah, like when they're like Superman attacked us in the regular version, they're like Superman attacked us, he laser visioned us, and you're like, when the fuck did this happen?
Right?
Where was this? And you find out it's by Lex Luthor's man. You're like, for fuck's sake, why did you cut that out? Now everything makes more sense.
I wasn't so sure which were the parts that were kind of different from the original because I haven't seen the original in a while.
Yeah.
So when I watched this one, I was like, was that new? Yeah. You know, I was like, is that new?
Yeah. But real quick, were you excited back in 2016 when this was coming out? Did you feel the hype?
Of course I was. Because we're like, I was one of the people who were like supporting Ben Affleck being the new Batman.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, because to everybody, like Ben Affleck was what, the Pearl Harbor guy.
Yeah. Daredevil.
I was like, yeah, Daredevil. I was like, have you guys seen The Town? This guy goes hard. He sounds like he's from Gotham.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm all for it. Yes, there's a little bit of doubt, but like, I'm all for it. And then I get to see more of Henry Cavill, and this is one of my favorite storylines when it came to like DC is that Batman versus Superman and who would win.
Yeah, and like I remember the trailer seeing Batman dressed like this. I was like, what's that all about?
Yeah,
and you get their answers.
Like, I was like, injustice already,
right? But yeah, like going into it, I do like the philosophical talks about whether Superman should do what he should do. Do we need a Superman? Like I do love the spot where it's all like these political advisors and scientists being like, look man, we keep looking for a savior, and when we do, it usually ends up in the wrong way. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson's like, it's a pattern in human history. We found out that we're not the center of the universe. Because of Darwin, we're not special, and now because of Superman, we're not even special in this universe. And people just keep looking, still look for a savior to guide them through the light, and we don't know what Superman can do. Why does he keep ignoring all these political boundaries? Is he just doing it out of the kindness of his heart, or does he have an agenda? We don't know.
Again, what added, I don't know if that's new, but like, what added bit of dialogue like can do for a scene. Now they're kind of putting weight. This is what I miss from recent DC movies.
Yeah.
I get it, y'all trying to be Marvel, but like, my God, what this movie did, especially when it came out, what, like late 2016, or like,
Yeah, 2016.
yeah, I was like, no, no, I mean like the Ultimate version
Oh,
edition,
late 2016.
late. Um, like, the dialogue itself was like, oh, should we have heroes? Oh, it's very philosophical. Oh, like all this stuff. I was like, I like this.
Yeah,
Again, we don't have to compete with Marvel.
yeah,
Do your own thing, and you will succeed. But sadly, DC was like, let's do what Marvel's doing. Oh shit, never mind, scrap everything. You
yeah,
know, like start over with a shittier movie.
yeah.
You know,
Uh,
like,
but yeah, you see why everybody's concerned just from the opening. That really showcases of like, yeah, these beings are dangerous even when they don't mean to be. Like if Superman gets tossed
yeah,
into a building, that's bad news for all of us in the building.
it's already somewhat like, not somewhat. It's already like another 9/11 kind of deal. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's a fair comparison. Like when you see buildings collapsing and you see people coming through the smoke, it really invokes that imagery of like, yeah, I've seen that in real history.
yeah, and I guess that was the goal that Zack Snyder was trying to pull off here, where like that is the that is a situation in Gotham, or
Yeah,
was it Metropolis? I think it was Metropolis.
Metropolis. I think Batman would be angry if it was in Gotham. Like, oh, son of a bitch, destroy my
His own
hometown.
home. But yeah, like we get the same scene where he like rushes into Metropolis because he has like a company there.
Yeah,
He has a couple of companies, and I'm guessing there's a tad bit more scenes shown here, like him stealing the taxi instead of just like randomly being in the car and like, where are they?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Um,
Him seeing his
yeah,
friend die in the building that gets lasered. You're like, well, that's rough. Jesus.
yeah, and like, did he help that guy in the original where he like lifted the?
No.
Yeah, right. Like we didn't see him. We just know that he used to work for Mr. Wayne.
Yeah. And now he's a terrorist or like urban terrorist. It's the Unabomber of
Yeah,
this universe. Funny enough, like his name in the Google was Wally for a while, and you're like, oh shit, it's Wally West. And then we see him in Drees. I'm like, I don't think he's running anytime soon.
anytime soon.
But yeah, you see how the rivalry between Batman and Superman begin, or like the start of Batman's hatred for Superman.
Hmm.
And like, I do like how Zack Snyder makes this realistic but mythical, and he makes Batman just the Dark Knight that we know from the comics. Him just hiding in the wall like a fucking
Yeah.
rodent, like a fucking bat.
Like even the people he's trying to save are scared of him.
Yeah,
Like they're like again the cops like try to open the gate. You're like, no, he's still here.
yeah,
It's like fuck nah. Like
like
I don't know what side he's on.
yeah, like our captor was just grabbed by a big man with like a branding iron. I don't know what that means. I am terrified, that's for sure.
Dude, have you seen a 6 foot 6'2" man crawl up a ceiling?
Just,
That's terrifying.
and then scurry. You're like, what the? Why does he move like that?
Yeah, I was like, well, that's a horror movie in its own.
Like,
Okay, and then like you see the guy, he's like all wet, and he has like a brand on him. I was like, if I was the cop, I was like,
I
like I'll leave the gate open. You guys get out on your own. I ain't right. I'm not just ready to report, and I'm going home.
yeah, I'm like Gotham's already shitty as it is. I don't wanna fuck with that thing.
Yeah,
I really
and yeah, go on.
for a movie called Batman vs Superman, I really think Batman Affleck is the perfect guy to stand toe to toe next to Superman and look him
Mm.
directly in the eye. Like I've read alternative casting. Like I think the best alternative casting was Josh Brolin. I'm like, huh, another universe maybe. But other choices were like Ryan Gosling, Richard Armitage, and Orlando Bloom. It's like, oh,
Richard Armitage. I don't know. I
yeah.
don't see it.
I mean, as a voice,
He has the
maybe.
voice.
Yeah,
He has the voice, but like I don't say he has the look.
yeah.
I see him more as a Wolverine kind of guy.
Well,
Maybe because he voiced Wolverine,
Wolverine.
in an audiobook, but like
Yeah.
I will say the best one right now, I would say for the whole, I would say is Jensen. Is that his
Ah,
name?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like there's photos of him, like edited photos of like him on the chair with his bat suit, but like he doesn't have the cloak. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
the cowl. I was
yeah,
like, that is Bruce Wayne. Like he changed his hair from brown to black. And I'm like, that is Bruce Wayne.
yeah. Also, the guy from John Reacher. I can see him as Batman.
Voice, I don't hear it.
Yeah, I mean they can just get a modulator like Ben Affleck. We know Ben Affleck doesn't sound like this modulator here, so like I can live with it. Um,
I,
but
I
yeah, I think Ben Affleck is definitely one of the best Batman we've had, and like just the way he carries himself. Like he looks like Bruce Wayne. He has the build of Batman. He flirts like Bruce Wayne. He does all three roles perfectly. Like, yeah, that's Bruce Wayne right there. That's Batman
that
right
is
there.
that is Batman right there. And again, I for sure we said it in our first time doing this review, but since we're redoing it, I love the Batmobile.
Yeah,
This is my as much as you would like the Arkham City Batmobile, this one just feels like a Batmobile.
yeah,
It's sharp. It's an F1 tank.
yeah,
You gotta admit that's fucking sick. Sure, it has gats in the front, questionable, but like it's
yeah.
cool. Like it has a grappling hook at the back to tow whatever muscle car he wants to like whip around Gotham City.
Right. I also like that Alfred's more involved with the tech. Like we've seen various Alfreds until this point, and this one is Jeremy Irons does a great job of being Alfred, and the fact that he's also his mechanic for his armor, his car. You're like, that makes sense. That seems
Yeah,
to be right.
I
Um,
feel bad though, because like doing maintenance on a car is kind of tough,
yeah,
like especially on your own. But I guess he's one hell of a butler, you know. Like,
yeah. He's also quite sassy when he's like, it's too bad. I hope the next generation of Waynes won't inherit an empty wine cellar. Not like there's gonna be a next generation anyway, but who's counting? You know?
unless we get paid.
Yeah, unless that. But yeah, um, going on for a bit on Batman, I do also. We all like the nightmare thing, right? You're just like,
Yes,
what the fuck is that deal? I don't.
every like like we get it.
Yeah,
We get it that like Batman straight up pulls his 911 out and just shoots the guy. And
that's
like he snaps the dude's neck.
yeah,
I love the reaction of the dude where he's just like on the ground, he's like flailing, and then he's
yeah.
just like,
He's just like, you know what? I accept this. I've asked for this. I do like. It really depends on how Batman does it. Like I like the fact that Batman in the comics never kills, but at the same time, it's how he does it here that's cool. Where he's just like using the Armalite as a bat. You're like, oh my god.
yeah, like I like how he does his killing here. As weird as it sounds,
Yeah,
it feels earned.
yeah. I mean,
That's like
let's face it. He's not the first Batman to kill in live action movies. Like, got Michael
yeah.
Keaton. Like, it's not like he's capturing civilians and torturing them for fun. You know, that's Joker
Yeah,
business.
but we always had that argument. I was like, Batman doesn't kill. Oh, but he kills here, and he indirectly kills here.
Yeah,
With this one, I kind of like it more because he's like, I do it,
yeah,
and we get a scene on a reason why he does it. Like Superman's like going around. Clearly, Batman's been around way longer than Superman, but
yeah,
Clark Kent's like being the journalist he is, instead of going to whatever game Lawrence Fishburne wants him to go to.
yeah,
He goes to Gotham and like does a little bit of research on Batman, and he goes to this like one area where this guy. He's like, I was like, oh, you are you a cop? He's like, no, I'm a journalist. Well, you can't be here, especially after dark. You gotta get going. And he's like, oh, I'm asking about the Batman. And he's like, ooh,
yeah,
like something inside him changed. He vaguely tells him like this is not the same Batman we had before.
yeah,
This one's angrier.
yeah. You see the Robin costume, and he explicitly tells Alfred like, when Alfred's like, "Why do you really need this weapon?" you're going to destroy it, right? Because it's going to harm Superman. And he's like, nah, I'm going to take the fight to him. Because if there's even a 1% chance that he is a danger to us all, I'm going to face that as like, yeah, he's no good for this planet, and I have to stop him. And Alfred's like, why?
Yeah.
Why can't you just let him be? Like, isn't our fight in Gotham worth this anymore? And he's like, what do you mean? We've been here for 20 years. How many good guys stay the same? How many good guys are left or have stayed that way? You're like, and like in one sentence, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I get
So
it.
I like it. It's a different universe of a Batman.
Yeah.
He's not the same. He tries his best not to kill everybody. He doesn't straight up like just mows down an entire building. Okay, one time he did, but
I mean, he mowed down a bunch of cars towards the end. You're like, well, they're not getting up.
they're not getting up. Bro, they charred. But anyway, like, but he still like tries his best not to kill. But he's like, if somebody dies, he's like, eh,
Yeah.
no.
It's like a more violent Christian Bale where he's like, I won't save you, but I won't kill you
Oh.
either, and just leaves.
No, it's like I won't kill you, but I ain't gonna save you either.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
goodbye. And then Raz is like, that's technically kill. Fuck it.
Fine.
But yeah, and like Batman is so consumed by anger that he doesn't see he's being played by Lex Luthor, who is, to be fair, is the most divisive part of this movie. If you hear any complaints of Batman vs Superman, it's Lex Luthor. And to be fair, I still am not 100% on board Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, but I think it's Jeremy Jahns who said this. But if you, like, in your brain, make his lines sound like Clancy Brown, and like you really listen, you're like, my God, you do sound like Lex Luthor though. Everything you say, especially when he's confronting Superman about if God is all good, then he can't be all powerful, and if he's all powerful, he can't be all good.
I can't hear Clancy Brown going ding 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 ding.
Yeah, there's some
Ding, ding,
exceptions.
ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I'm like,
His
I don't think Clancy
scheming,
Brown will do that.
his scheming is very much Lex Luthor, where he hires actors to frame Superman. You're like, and then he takes care of them, like pushing them off the train tracks. You're like, what the fuck, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So he has like that psychopathic tendency, but for me, Jesse Eisenberg like misses the mark when it comes to the suave of Lex Luthor. I like the calm, collective, like very methodical Lex Luthor
Yeah.
instead of like
Here he seems like a billionaire's kid of like, I have too much money and too much power.
and too much Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, that scene just still drives me up a wall of like, why does he do that?
Like, is this like do you feel in charge, you know, kind of deal, or like
Yeah. Like,
is this him like pointing like I have control over you, eat Jolly Rancher, you
it's,
know?
it's like,
Okay.
are you still in that phase of like, oh, he's like Mark Zuckerberg? I get it. You're like, sure.
You know, I guess.
Yeah. But the way he maneuvers Batman and Superman to fight each other, like, again, it's very Lex Luthor. Like, yeah, I can see Lex Luthor doing that. I can see Lex
Yeah.
Luthor having the balls to bomb the fucking Supreme Court of the United States. You're like, Jesus fucking Christ.
And I like the added scene here. This one I recognize as an added scene is that Superman helps them evacuate some of the the survivors of that blast, instead of the like sad goodbye. You know, like he just leaves.
And in
It
the
was like-
extended version, they explain why he couldn't see it. It's a bomb. Because they're like, oh, it was lined with lead in the extended version.
Yeah.
Here, in the regular version, you were like, is Superman just stupid?
Right, like he wasn't using his like X-ray vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, because I was like, in my opinion, I was like, who would put a bomb on a wheelchair?
You're like, why does this man Hector Salamanca's himself on purpose? And Superman's just like,
Right.
not like, I think that's TNT.
Yeah, right. And like,
I-
I think this scene, especially with like, what was her name? Finch.
Yeah.
The voice actress for Elastigirl. Like when she turns around the Granny's peach pie, peach tea. Like, it felt a little bit more intense than I remembered.
Yeah, because you like get extra context of like, oh, Lex Luthor hired this actress to pretend to be part of the village that Superman apparently murdered, and you're like, Huh. So everyone's
Yeah.
being played. And like
Oh,
he plants iced tea and you're like that still scene kind of bothers me of like did he just really piss in a jar? But they couldn't have because you would smell that a mile away before you sat down. So
right.
you're like
Like,
something smells like piss. Why? Don't
so it
understand.
could have been just peach tea. We
Yeah.
don't know. But the context is that he's like, I don't care. You guys are gonna die. I'm like,
Yeah.
like kind of deal. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like the added scene of like everybody just like something's wrong, and then it blows up. I was like, when here she just turns it. She's like, uh oh, you know.
Like it's weird how this movie got its 1 hour and 30 minutes to remove. It's not like literally an hour and 30 minutes added that was removed. It's literally 5 minutes of a scene removed, and you're like, I don't get the context. Why do people think Superman murdered this village with
Right.
armor like bullets? That doesn't make any sense. Like Superman,
Right.
the man who can toss people through a wall, used a machine gun, and then used gasoline to burn their bodies. None of this is making sense.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I was like, and then he was explaining just a tad bit of, you know, a tad bit more of information when it comes to your plot does a lot. Just like, oh, we hired an actress to like fake the entire thing,
Yeah,
and being an eyewitness to Superman being a horrible person, and we've been like, oh, that's so smart and devious, and we get it,
yeah,
you know. But for some reason, they cut it out in the
Yeah.
original one, and we're all just like, right?
yeah. You're like, where did you get that conclusion from? I don't understand. Though there's a bit of inconsistency at the beginning where at the end of Man of Steel you swore Superman would never kill again. And then when he rescues Lois he just tosses the guy through 4 walls. You're like, that guy is never speaking or walking again. He's just dead.
It's like, that he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
But yeah, I do like the first confrontation between Batman and Superman and that charity ball where Clark Kent is talking to Bruce Wayne of like, it's a vigilante. Why don't you guys do something about it? And Bruce Wayne's like, excuse me. Every time your alien saves a cat out of a tree, you guys write a puff piece article. This guy can destroy the planet, and you're complaining about the Batman. You guys are full of shit. I'm paraphrasing,
Yeah.
of course, but it's more better worded. But like that. The bottom line is don't ever let me write this in, you know? Literally sounds like a high school debate. But yeah,
I've been like, oh, is this part of the extended cut?
but you see the tension grow and you're like, I appreciate that. And then the second confrontation is that amazing chasing where Batman is just using a car as a wrecking ball and he flips over to two guys who are still in the car. They're like, I thought he doesn't kill. Fuck us.
Oh, well, shit. You know, kind of deal. But as much as I love the Bat muscle car, I can't get over this. I really can't. It's such a badass fucking car. Because he just straight up like, when there's a car in the way, he just, you know, it's like paper
Right?
to this car. I'm like, why is it so fast? But also, why is it so strong? You know?
Right? And he just turns the corner and sees Superman. Even Batman's like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting this. And just thinks of Superman. You're like, oh fuck. Like, I love how they don't fail to see how strong Superman is. Like, obviously he won't budge when the Batmobile hits him because that wouldn't make sense. Just rips the roof off and Batman just stands up like, what? What do you want?
Yeah, again, such a badass scene. No, like, there's no moment of like, oh shit, with Batman here. He's just like straight up, like looks him dead in the eye. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Superman's just like, the bat is dead. This is your final warning, and Batman's like,
Bury it.
tell me, do you bleed? You will. You're like, oh, he knows he can hear that. Shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I do like how everything is being pulled together, like Lex Luthor manipulating everybody, and he's just like the grand puppeteer. It's like the scientist just gone horribly mad. Like, Bruce Wayne is a billionaire that is just consumed by vengeance, and Lex Luthor is just consumed by power. Like I can't stand the fact that there's someone I have to look up to, where I'm too used to looking down at people. And he even goes as far as to reincarnate Zod's body into something much worse.
Hmm.
But like,
And oh, go on.
there's a scene where I don't get, where Superman goes to like the Arctic for a bit, or like somewhere in Alaska, and then he has to talk with his dad, and his dad is like, one time I was recommended for bravery because I stopped the floods or diverted the flood and then killed 1 billion horses. And he keeps rambling on. You're like, I don't get the point of this dialogue.
Yeah, I was like, is this needed? I get he's trying to reflect and he's trying to talk to his like dead dad, but like I don't get it.
Yeah. Is Kevin Costner just sorry he killed 10 million horses? He's like, son,
Yeah.
I hear their names in my soul. Help me.
And he's just like recalling the like Fury style.
But like Superman really is doubting himself, and I really like how they humanize Superman in its entire trilogy of Man of Steel, BVS, and Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. It answers the question of like, how do you make Superman vulnerable? How do you make him relatable? And Zack Snyder does that perfectly here. And you're like,
Yeah.
I have never seen Superman like this, and I appreciate it.
Also, it's not just like added footage; they changed the music as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a scene here where Batman sends Wonder Woman like, "Hey, I know you.
Yeah.
Is this you from 100 years ago?" And like, and he shows her like the entire Justice League like lineup.
Yeah.
But when he shows her, her photo, in the original, I remember it was like blaring. The theme of Wonder Woman is just like it blares at you. Here, it's very like,
Subtle.
subtle. You hear it, but it's very subtle. And I was like, this is very tasteful.
Yeah.
I like that. Until we get to the scene where Batman crashes while he's like going up against
Doomsday.
Doomsday,
But
and like Wonder Woman comes in, and that's when the actual music kicks in.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
that scene file is a bit too convenient. You're like, oh, that's all conveniently here. Who would have guessed? Like, does Lex Luthor not think to like, maybe I should keep these files separate in case someone hacks me, and panics of like, oh shit, they're metahumans now. And it's funny because you see Jason Momoa, and it's clearly see that he's just like, that's just weird. I thought you were Aquaman. You don't need to hold your breath. Why are you doing that? But like Lex Luthor really wants this fight between Batman and Superman to happen, so he pulls the strings harder. Like he kidnaps Superman's mom, and then he kidnaps Lois and pushes her off the building. And you're like, you've gone completely off your rocker, haven't you, man?
Yeah, and like he's like, oh, was this like, oh, if you don't find him, like, I'll kill the woman, the woman of your life. And it was like, oh, safe on the ground. He was like, no. There's another one. And it's his mom. I was like, oh wow, this kind of fucked up.
Yeah, and then Superman is like, where is she? And he's like, oh, hold on. If you kill me, she dies.
She's dead.
If you don't do what I tell you to do, she dies. If you take too long, she dies. And you're like, Lex Luthor may not be that all Lex Luthor in this movie, but the fact that he is like, yeah, Superman's not going to kill me when his mom's involved. I know that. I'm smarter than him. And I have the balls to stand in front of him when he's clearly about to kill me. You're like, again, you're like, that. There are a few moments where, a lot of moments where like, yeah, Jesse Eisenberg excels in Lex Luthor, even though half the time you're like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
It's either Zack Snyder gave you misinformation or you clearly don't understand the research material. I don't know. I really don't know to this day.
By the way, yeah, go on.
No, when he sees Lex Luthor, does he think, oh, he's Mark Zuckerberg with a bit of Jim Carrey? And you're like, where did you get that from?
I don't know. I really don't know what the casting was. I feel like it would have been a better.
The alternative casting to him was Michael Cera.
What? I don't get what's up with him and getting like. Why does he want that for? See, it would have been good. I feel like Bryan Cranston would have been great.
Yeah, there are 3 choices there was Jesse Eisenberg, Michael Cera, and Idris Elba. And you're like, why didn't you go for the third one, man?
Idris Elba.
Right?
That would have been great.
Yeah.
But he becomes
Yeah, the Suicide Squad guy. I forgot. He's such a very. I know he's in the movie. He's just a very unforgettable character in the comics. You're like, who?
yeah, right.
Uh,
Death
Bloodsport.
something.
Bloodsport. There we go.
Bloodsport. There we go.
For
Yeah.
fuck's sake. But yeah, for a movie called Batman vs Superman, the fight really lives up to it. Even though all this time, Superman can just grab Batman and be like, "Please, my mom's in danger. Help me."
Yeah, he could have just like grabbed him by the throat, like my mom is in danger.
He's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I know you're mad, but my mom's in danger."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But he tried diplomacy at the start, but he got a little bit pissed off and heated. He was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it, I'll kill this guy.
Yeah, right? Yeah, at first he just pushes him. I would laugh so hard when Superman pushes him too hard. And he's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm sorry, man. My mom's in danger. Can you please help me?" And Batman's like, "Oh, fuck you."
I just, not gonna lie, the fight is badass, but I found this scene so funny where he was like, Superman walks up to him after destroying like the sonic boom, the sonic wave things. And he comes up, he's like, "You don't understand." And Batman comes up, he's like, "I understand." And he immediately like gets like fucked.
And then Superman just takes Batman, just throws him to his light, and Batman is just like, "I think I'm out of my league, not gonna lie."
Yeah, because I love it every time Superman like knocks Batman off his feet. And Batman's always like, "Fuck!"
And then he finally uses the kryptonite. And I do love the shot where Superman tries to hit him, and then Batman just blocks him, and Superman's just like, "That's new? Shit."
Yeah. But I love it though, because it excuse me. It clearly shows that Batman, if they were in the same power level, Batman would have won. Let's say Superman was human and just like say learned martial arts, he would still not be toe to toe to Batman. And let's say Batman was a Kryptonian, he would not say toe to toe with Batman.
It's my favorite
That's just
shot.
the thing.
The whole fight where Batman's just beating Superman, and slowly you just hear the dong. You're like, "Oh fuck!"
You don't hear it. You don't hear it. You see it like you see him wail at him, and then Superman like slowly just like, and then once he gets to the point where he's like, "Pink," and he's like, fuck, reload.
I find it funny though that Superman falls for it twice. It's like, I've been bamboozled twice by this kryptonite shit. Well, it's my end. And Batman's like, "I bet your parents said you were sent here for a reason. Mine weren't. They just fucking died in the gutter." And then you get the scene of him with a spear, and Superman's just like, my mom, bro." You know, after all this time, just me recently watching this, I'm like, I think I finally get it. I finally get the Martha scene. Because I'm like, oh, because Batman realizes that one, Superman isn't the monster. Because like if he was Homelander, he'd be like, "I'll fucking burn your planet down," as he's about to die. But Superman's like, one, save Martha. Batman realizes that, oh, Superman is as helpless as I was when my parents died, and if I kill him, no better. I'm the biggest hypocrite in my life.
Yeah.
And you're
like,
like, finally, it makes sense.
It does make sense, and I kind of have to give this scene a little bit too, because he says Martha, not my mom.
Yeah.
He's not like, we have the same mom, let's be friends. It's Lois. It's because of Lois Lane coming in and being like, that's his mother.
Yeah.
And that's when like Batman kind of noticed, oh shit, he is as helpless as I am when it came to that moment.
Yeah.
But like on that scene, if Lois wasn't there, he would have been like, "Okay, you won fair and square. But if you kill me, please at least save this last person.
Yeah.
This last person."
Yeah.
So I gotta give that scene a little bit more compared to what we gave it shit for in 2016.
Yeah. I love how fast Batman changes out of the armor, just regular Batman equipment when he saves Martha. You're like, that was fast. Was he like, "I'll save Martha," and just removes everything? You're like, "Give me a moment, please." And then we get the sweetest Batman action scene until that point. Like the Batman's action scenes are pretty chef's kiss, and but this was like the start of like, right, Batman can take out 30 men in a room. Forgot about it because you always see like Christopher Nolan's like shaky cam shit, or at least Batman's taking on one guy, and you're like, for a man called the Dark Knight, you're really out of stamina, man.
Yeah, he's a little bit exhausted. He's like dry heaving. I'm like, all right,
Just
but
elbows all the time.
Here, like straight up, one punch sends the dude's face into the floorboards. I'm like, my god! And every time he slams some dude's body onto the ground, it splits
The floor,
the floorboard. And I'm like, what?
right? The one guy who gets in the way of the bat hook, he's like, fuck. And he gets knocked down to the hole that Batman made.
Dude, just imagine how fucking strong Batman is. The fact that there's this dude who he punched him this way. Dude got hit so fucking hard he went that way.
The one guy with the grenade who thought he's a bad motherfucker, and
He was like, I got this.
and like his knuckles are brass knuckles, and you're like, oh, that's why Joker's teeth are so fucked up in this universe.
Yeah.
And like this one guy, he throws to the floor and he starts hitting the back of his head. You're like, that guy needs to be eating from a straw for a while. Shit. Even when he gets stabbed, he's more dangerous. Like the end shot where he's just like hulking this gorilla of a man. You're like, and the guy's like, please, I don't want any more.
Gets sent into a wall.
And then he takes out that one guy from 300. He's like, I'll shoot her. I will. And he's like, I believe you. And then just blows him up. And like, I don't get how the cape saves both of them. But like, you know what? Fuck it. This is
fireproof.
Yeah, sure.
But I was like, I don't think it's blast proof, but okay.
Yeah, right. And then we get the scene where Lex Luthor's like, well, if the Batman won't do it, my creation will. And like, I remember back when the trailer came out for Doomsday, you were like, man, that CGI is rough. But now, Doomsday has aged better, in my opinion. You're like, just this fist alone.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, yes, it still looks like a very messed up Ninja Turtle, but like, when you look at it, I was like, it's not that bad. And also, the added scenes with a fight.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember seeing this in the original, where like, when they nuke it, like, there was this whole scene with Superman and Doomsday, like, fighting over his monument.
Yeah.
I was like, this is sick.
Yeah. And he feels like Doomsday. Like, the first punch he throws and Superman can barely hold him back. You're like, holy fuck. That is Doomsday. Yeah. And, like, Batman has to fight him for a while, and he crashes, and then that's where we get the scene that everybody talked about. And we still talk about when we talk about Batman versus Superman, which is Wonder Woman's introduction. That fucking kick-ass theme. We're like, holy fuck. Like, it still ages so well today. You're like, I know I've been getting sick of her theme playing throughout the lesser DC movies, but watching it for the first time, as if it's the first time again, you're like, yeah, it hasn't lost its touch. It's still fucking badass.
Yeah, and it's so fucking weird, too, because majority of her films are prequels.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind. The first one was great. Like, it was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. The second one was absolute dog shit, so I was like, what the fuck happened?
Right?
Like here she's like clearly going toe to toe with Doomsday, and it was like, and the second one was like she was having a hard time with a cheetah lady.
Right? You're like that
okay.
line when she's like, I've killed other things from other worlds. You're like, oh shit, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And like, to be fair, Ares definitely matches that. But like, you see her having the difficult time of taking on Cheetah, you're like, Ares and Doomsday are not as much of a walk in the park as Cheetah Lady, right? I hope the filmmakers do realize that. Like, why are you struggling against her and Pedro Pascal? That makes no sense in the world. But yeah. And like, I will never forget that shot of the Trinity just standing, just all badass. You're like, oh, fuck. My childhood's come to life.
Yeah, and there's so much weight to it. Again, I will have to put that argument out again. Is that, bruh, you got an Amazonian warrior who clearly knows how to use weapons. Why not give the spear to her?
Right?
You know,
like,
Diana 300 that shit. You're like,
Right?
No,
Superman could be like, Diana, this thing is literally killing me. Here, have it. And to take
yeah,
care.
like the entire plan should have been, hey, Superman, hold down Doomsday for a bit. Hey, Batman, shoot him with the gas thing. And hey, Superman, get out of the way for me to split. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like to the master tactician, I think you should have seen that.
I love how Batman, this whole fight is like, you guys got this, right? So, you're like,
Like,
yeah.
I'm out of my. And hey, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Literally, look at the situation. I'm like, I shot my shot. I'm good.
Yeah, I had a friend who was like, why didn't he just use the armor again? I was like, did you see how slow he was in that shit? Doomsday would have crushed him. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Um,
pretty much.
I feel like it would have been effective if like Wonder Woman like speared him, but like as Superman was holding Doomsday down, he still got the kill shot of Superman. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I won't go down without a fight, and just stabs Superman with his fist. Like, oh fuck.
Or yeah. But anyway, clearly we're not gonna get what we want. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. We just wish it was handled better, but like it still packs a punch of like, god damn, I like this Superman. It's out already?
Yeah.
Shit. I love the clear difference between the funeral for Clark Kent and then the funeral for Superman, because Superman's funeral is like what's his face? Funeral for Abraham Lincoln or JFK, where everybody's mourning him. But like
Yeah.
those who know him, it's just a quiet affair, and you're like, that makes sense in all the world. That's how you handle that.
Yeah.
We get the weird scene where Batman confronts Lex Luthor. It's like, one, you're going to Arkham Asylum. Two, can you please get fucking tissue? I should get you fucking tissue, man. You're gross.
Still a badass scene though. It's just like Batman comes in like a horror movie
Yeah.
kind of deal, and like almost brands
Yeah.
Lex Luthor. I wish he did though.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Lex Luthor's like, the bell has been unrung. And he's not coming. Can you please wipe your nose? I that's the other added scene when the SWAT team comes in to arrest Lex Luthor, and they see him like in front of Steppenwolf, and they're like, "What the fuck is that thing?" Shit, there's
Right?
another
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, and he has like the boxes already. I'm like, I was like, why did you cut this?
Right?
Why
Yeah.
the fuck would you cut this?
You know, he was supposed to be the main bad of Suicide Squad.
Thank God, he wasn't.
Yeah, but that would, if he killed the squad, you'd be like, well, he killed one League of Heroes. Is the
Yeah.
Justice League next, and that would tie into Justice League better, instead of Enchantress and her brother.
Yeah. No, I feel like it should have. I'm still like on the fence of like. I feel like Suicide Squad should have been like Suicide Squad versus the Joker, because he has like a private militia and he kind of took over the town and is going crazy, instead of them fighting Justice League level enemies.
Or like Suicide Squad versus Deathstroke, like Black Ops versus Black Ops. Like, oh shit, this guy's a badass, and that would clearly establish Joe Manganiello as the badass. But no,
And sadly,
again,
we're never gonna get it.
ever again. Fuck me. But yeah, it ends with Bruce Wayne being like, I need to assemble the others. I have to do right by Superman because he taught me how to be a hero again. And that's the overall theme of this movie, where Batman is the unannounced third villain. And he clearly is a villain, just lost his way. But Superman shows him how to be, what it means to be the Dark Knight for Justice, what it means to be a hero. And it starts the arc of Batman's redemption. All the way till Zack Snyder's Justice League. And you're like, wow, that's so amazing. If only it was such a clear line from the start. Fuck. Shit. But yeah. This is the Ultimate Edition. It's a pretty amazing movie. Like, it's one of my favorites. Like, the regular version, like, I've never seen the regular version ever since watching this. Because I'm like, the regular version doesn't make sense. And not just in terms of characters, but just in terms of like pacing and plot of like, again, how do you come to the conclusion that the world's most powerful man uses a gun and gasoline? What is he, the fucking Joker now?
I don't know. Look, all we know is that this is the better version. If you were to watch Batman v Superman, this is
Yeah.
you don't need to watch the first one. don't listen to Warner Bros. Remember this: Warner Bros. Is the enemy. Uh, so yeah. Anyway, ratings.
Hey, yeah. What would you rate Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition?
Um, Look, there's still a couple of plot points I don't agree with that was in the original, and it's still here.
Hmm.
But with the added stuff, I would have to give it a 9.
Mm.
Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
It is really good, and it's much better that it's fleshed out and they explain a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, same sentiments. Like everything makes sense. Most importantly, you're not just like, wow, for really good characters, this is a really sloppily put together movie.
Yeah.
But now you're like, okay, everything makes sense. The plot is more concise. Keyword is context is the key, and of
Yeah.
course, we've said this before in our old video, but Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot are truly those characters: Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Like, it will be a very hard thing for me to be like, all right, we have to move on now. Here's a new universe, and I'm still like, but I don't wanna. I really don't wanna move on. But I should
You
be
know what?
clear.
I'm okay with that. Like, just move on. Look, I get it. It's such a waste.
Yeah,
But my God, you guys trashed this universe too much that it's like unrecoverable.
yeah. I should be clarify, but I am excited for Superman, the James Gunn Superman. Like, the more I hear about it, I'm like, all right, I'm excited now. But yeah, for this now dead universe, like, I think it peaked with Man of Steel and BVS, and then peaked again with Zack Snyder's Justice League and the Suicide Squad, and never peaks again. It's dead now, unfortunately. But for the time between 2016 and 2021, where we still had hope, was quite a time of like, maybe we can do this and that, but we'll never get our answers now. But yeah, anything to add before we wrap this up? You know what? I've heard rumors that Henry Cavill might be Jor-El in the next one.
Obviously.
Yeah, that would be a nice touch.
But man, just do your 40K thing. Leave the DC universe alone, because they don't deserve you.
Yeah, neither does the Witcher universe and Netflix apparently. Oh,
Yeah.
well. For the Emperor? No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's been our video for Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition. What's your guys' thoughts? Which DCEU film do you like the most? Is it this one, Man of Steel, the first Wonder Woman, even Aquaman, or Zack Snyder's Justice League? Please comment down below. But yeah, if you like our videos, please leave them a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. And we're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see your best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. And the VGM and Zulf on Letterboxd, and Zoda's Voices on TikTok. Where can I find you?
You can find me at JomJu on Instagram. It is my already done.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.